Cities are our home, and yet it is surprising how little we know about what makes them work, what makes them tick. A lot of work that gets done to make our cities home for us remains invisible. Hi, I'm Kavita Wankhade, and I'm here to talk about some of the most invisible people in the city. I'm here to talk about women in sanitation. This is Trichy, one of the many million sized cities in South India. And what you're seeing on the screen is a decanting station. This is a place where waste is brought in not only through the sewer network but also through cesspool, pit latrines, etc. through trucks, and it's brought here to be safely treated. The people you're seeing working in the background are what are known as desludging operators or honeysuckers. And this is Aravali. She's one of the 5 gumptious women working in a sea of men. Aravali represents one of the many invisible women working in sanitation. These women professionals work across the entire chain of sanitation, be it toilet construction, toilet maintenance, conveyance, treatment, or reuse. They work across the public, private, and informal sectors. They work in many roles as masons, as toilet caretakers, as government officers in administrative, health, and engineering cadres, as private entrepreneurs, as engineers in treatment plant. These are just to name a few. So what is the problem exactly? I think as far as development programs go, whether it's water, sanitation, health, etc., I think gender has been recognized as a key organizing principle. Women have been recognized as users, as participants, as beneficiaries, and the importance of keeping their needs central while designing the program has been recognized. But what I think is missing is to recognize that in those very same sectors, women are present also as professionals, be it as frontline workers or administrators or entrepreneurs. And when you start looking through the lens of women professionals, a whole new world emerges with its own set of challenges. Coming back to sanitation, many of my non-sanitation friends ask, well, why are you really encouraging women to work in these dirty sectors? But I think that's a very unhelpful way of looking at things. For once, so-called dirty sectors like sanitation or solid waste provide as much of an essential service, say water and transportation in a city. Secondly, these represent real economic opportunities, whether it's a secure public sector job in sanitation or running one's own small and medium enterprises. So what are the challenges when it comes to women professionals in sanitation? One of the things is that there aren't enough women across all these sectors and subsectors that I have mentioned. Secondly, the women professionals who are there actually face a lot of challenges. Some of these challenges are very sector specific. So to take the example of sanitation workers who constitute a huge amount of this workforce, sanitation workers typically face huge amount of stigma, they face serious health and safety concerns and do not have adequate social protection. These are problems faced by both men and women workers. However, we have anecdotal evidence that more informal the work gets, the less social protection is there, the percentage of women workers significantly rises up. This lack of evidence actually is one of the things cutting across all these different sectors. Another example of a sector-specific challenge is, for example, location of waste treatment plants, which may be far away from the city and may pose safety concerns for women. Many of these challenges are more deeply structural and very familiar to all of us. So these challenges that women face may include societal pressures to get off the workforce at various points of their life cycle. These may include discriminatory workplace policies or culture norms. It may include things like lack of role models. Very familiar. And one more familiar thing that cuts across all these subsectors within sanitation is lack of women leaders. They just aren't enough women leaders, whether you're talking about senior ranking government officers or whether we are talking about head masons in the informal sector or whether we are talking about heads of enterprises. So what can be done about this? I think the first step is to recognize this issue and keep it central. Once we do recognize it, there are a host of things that can be done and you can see some of these on the screen. Secondly, we can learn from examples. So we saw an inspiring image of Aravali, a desludging operator. So what are the things that she can teach us? Another example that I would like to talk about is she teams that work in Trichy. These are SHGs which have been federated at a city level and provide invaluable service of maintaining community toilets, at the same time empowering themselves. the last thing that I would like to speak about is that these women, very few in numbers, their stories need to be heard, they need to be celebrated. We run an annual digital campaign called Women in Sanitation, and please do join us to share your stories too. So let's remember cities are our home, and these are the women who make them our home. So let's celebrate the stories.